Hello, Jodi here from Joli Natural Skincare, and today I wanted to give you a little bit of a demo on how to shape your nails. So I have taken the nail polish off. That was step one. I have filed the shine off. I've talked about this in another video, so I won't go into too much detail. And I've prepped this area, well, it's just filed down. So here you can see a nail has come off. So when I file the pink SNS nail polish, I use a high grit, a strong grit file. And then when I get to the fingernail, the actual nail itself, I'm really far more delicate and get in there with a light to medium grit file just to paint sort of rough up the surface. So that's how I've sort of gotten to this stage as it is. So now I'm going to talk about lifting as well. So here you can see a little bit of the nail is lifting, how to prep for that. Get our little snips. And we just go along the edges, just getting a feel for what's not pressing down. Oh, this one's not bad. Okay. I realise I say okay a lot. Not bad on that side either. This one here is chipped there in all strange places. And here that tip's come off. Again, I've done another video on how to repair that. So after I took the nail polish off, buffed them down, buffed the area here, which I'll do again, I also sort of shaped them to as close as to the end result as I want, so that it's less work for me to do when I do the next step, which is the refill and repaint, which I've done a video on already, so I won't show you that. But this is how I prep them, so that's sort of stage one of how to shape your nails. Alright, so we've done the next step, which is applying some more base coat, powder and activator. I have not done the top coat yet, and as you can see, it's quite lumpy. However, when it comes to the next step, we don't want a really coarse nail file like this one, because we're not actually going to be taking a layer off, we're just going to be buffing it. We may call upon this one, the tough one, for thicker spots. But for now we're going to start with a sort of medium to fine grit. This one here is nice and soft. So we'll start with the soft one first and just see how that buffing goes. So what we're looking for here is a nice fine line between the nail and the cuticle. We don't want a lump. So I can still see a shade there, which means it's not quite perfect. Now in cases like this, you can be as perfect or as imperfect as you like. But I'm just going to go with sort of, well, I'll call it maybe a top quality finish, just to give you an idea of the types of things you'd be looking for. So we're buffing along here. What we're doing is trying to make sure we have no ridges running down the nail or chunky bits going across. So you'd be looking at your nail from all different kinds of angles. Is it a good ridge? Now where am I? There's the camera. So is it a good ridge? Is it too chunky here and then too thin there? Is it arching along here nicely? Is it even down the finger, or is it chunky here and thinner there, which it looks to me like it is? And how is it looking underneath? Is it thin-ish? You don't want a big fat chunky line. You also want to see that this part here is nice. So we're sort of really looking from every angle, trying to get that nail exactly how we want. And then we're going to repeat for the rest of the nails. And a good way to tell, I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull this off on camera, but a good way to tell is to get your nail file, where am I? Here, there we go, and hold it along here, and you'll be able to sort of see, let me see if I tip this the right way, I've moved my hand. If the nail has any kind of gap in between the edges. So that's not looking too bad. It's a bit pointy on the ridge here. A bit sort of bulbous. And then we want to make sure that this line across here is also good. So we're pretty much sort of going from every angle you can imagine. And there we have the buffed nail. To shape the edge, I have it nice and square. I go along the tip and then I do a little bit of an under so that it's thinner. And sometimes I'll do across the top there to get a thinness as well, but this is pretty good. I go over with my little trusty block. I just find this one gives it a nice super fine file. There we go, look at that. Okay, so I'll do the others and then I'll get back to you. Here we have all the nails, nicely filed, nicely shaped. Gone with the straight edges as I can. Now another thing I wanted to talk about as well, which I touched on in a previous video, but I'm going to explain a little bit further this time, is the rubbing in of cuticle oils and creams. Now every process that you've done to your nail with regards to, say, polishing, nail removal, nail polish removal, acrylic, gel, SNS, which is what I'm doing here, you've got all these different kinds of compounds touching your skin. And if you paint your nails anything like me, mine get everywhere, so ridiculous. But you want to nourish that skin that you've exposed all of that gunk to. And let's say you were having a reaction anyway, like something like contact dermatitis. You would definitely be wanting to apply some cuticle oil or salve or moisturizer, some such thing to put a barrier between you and the thing that is causing the discomfort. And I mean, that could be something like rubber dish gloves, as well as things relating to the chemicals that we use on our nails. So then of course we also want to moisturize, because you can't have one without the other. It's important to do the hands as well as the cuticles. Rich cream is just so nice on the skin, you can just feel it. It's almost therapeutic. So yes, I'm dropping things already. So I just wipe the shine off that a little bit, because now we're going to put a top coat on, and that's the top coat that is part of the SNS set that I have. Is it different to top coat from nail polish? I wouldn't know. And I would imagine not. I can imagine you can use any old top coat to paint your nails after. And if you're anything like me, I see all the little splodges and bits that I want to perfect over the week. As I spend time with my nails looking at them from every angle, I might notice there's a bit of a lump there and want to work on that later. But generally, once I've painted my nails, I don't really bother with removing the polish to fix an imperfection. Okay, so today I'm going to go with some nice, what would you call this, plum, burgundy, rich wine colour. It kind of reminds me of mercurochrome. I don't know how many of you out there will remember that. What was that used for anyway? I know they used it in offices, but I don't know what for. Was it to replace the red ink on a typewriter? Was I even around then? I don't know. Did my mum or other women I knew use typewriters? I imagine they must have, so I don't specifically recall it. Well, like I said, I am crazy doing my nails. Anyway, mercurochrome. If anyone knows what that is, what it was used for, feel free to comment below. I always wondered. I remember painting my nails with some when I was little. And from memory it was a sort of, it dyed my fingernails. A sort of reddish colour. Whoops. And I vaguely remember, I think, that it smelt nice. Alright, so what on earth is that on my nail? Something that needs to be filed down later by the look of it, or it could be a hair in the polish, which would not surprise me. So, I'm going to then, don't shake that the camera, go over my wine red with some glitter red. Because who doesn't love glitter? Oh no. It's dying. I haven't used this polish in so long that it's just thickened on me. Which is slightly devastating because I won't be able to finish. Not in this colour anyway, so let me see if I can find an equivalent. Okay, so I found a red that's not even nearly like the other one that I wanted to put on. But I think going over the wine red might make a nice colour, so let's give it a combo and have a look. Yeah, it's definitely not the same awesomeness that was that glittery polish I had before. It's a bit sort of brown, kind of, a brown red. So let me try this one over the top. It's always disappointing when your thing that you wanted to do isn't able to happen. But it is just fingernails, so it's a kind of rich red. I don't mind it. Probably like this more than that. So I'll finish in this colour. And if you want to know what colour I'm using, just drop a comment. I'm not really one to promote other brands, considering, as the irony is, I'm all about natural, and doing nails is not natural. Sorry, doing nails is natural. But nail polishes contain all manner of compounds and such that, you know, are not necessarily good. Say some brands, for example, test on animals, Amar. Alrighty, there we have it. My nails, nicely filed, nicely shaped, looks good from every angle. What do you think? Do you like this colour? Would you like to see a specific colour? Maybe yellow or white, something really zany? Drop me a line and let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.